were you in sort of a different space, or was there a barrier between you because maybe you were in a different profile?
That's interesting. I don't think there was a barrier until later on, but both Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie told me that in all the shows that they did, including their own sketch show, Fry and Laurie, they used to deliberately avoid doing Python stuff. If they started doing Python stuff, they'd say, no, that's too like Python, then they would back off it, which is the opposite of what you've got in America, where people tended to say this works and then they would be influenced by it. You know, artists talk about being influenced by things. Comedians simply steal. So I never quite understood that, but more recently, British comedy in particular went in all sorts of directions that I didn't understand. I mean, first of all, it was all fake interview shows. And then something like The Office, which is very interesting because they introduce almost an alienation in it by having it as part of a documentary. Do you see what I mean? Which kind of gives it a distance. I think it's terrific, but I don't know what is gained by giving it the distance, the documentary. Last questions. Yes, sir. Fear of beards, I think we were talking about.
Did you have any particular inspiration from your days in public school in Clifton?
Yes, well, the thing about Clifton was that it was an English public school, and those were the schools that basically taught you to control your emotions so that you could go out and run the empire. And I'm not joking, because they started just about the time that the Brits acquired an empire. And started to, because the way we acquired an empire, we didn't send out armies to conquer things. What happened was that traders went out and then got attacked, usually by the French. And we had to send people out to protect the traders, and then wars would start. We'd have to send out more people, and that's how we acquired an empire. And just at that time, we started to produce English public schools where chaps were just, it was just explained that women were sort of luxuries that you couldn't really spend time with or take serious, because there was a lot of fighting to be done. We had to get the Afghans under control again. So it was a very strange process. And then what happened in 1956 after the Suez invasion is the British suddenly realized we weren't an important power anymore, although some of us went on pretending it. And at that time, it all began to change, and people actually started to enjoy their food, for example, because they didn't have to protect the empire the whole time. So it was a strange time of transition. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, lovely. What? Why does that happen? Why does that happen? Oh my God, he shot himself. Sorry. Bye.